Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting. Today, I would like to address the within the Kriya Yoga Eightfold Path in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. There's one aspect which is called concentration, and the concentration should not be mistaken just for holding your mind fixating it on an object or a person. Subject doesn't matter what you would fixate it on. And I believe that spiritual practices are usually misunderstood, although concentration is an essential element of our progress. And I would, in my own experience, define concentration in terms of a state of expansion that can be just realized for longer periods of time until there is only expansion. Yes, scriptures would aid you in saying concentration is easily attained if you're concentrated your mind and being on God itself. So that has some spiritual, religious connotations if you consider God as a being. But that would be also that expansive, what is God? Who is God? Yes, so we do not have a notion of that. We may in this case, visualize some deity, some image of a deity that our cultures kind of evoked for us. But in essence, concentration is that space beyond the mind. And whenever you intend to meditate, that meditation ideally needs to be concentrated on that expansive, all allowing beingness. I would like to stress um, one more time the tenet that spirituality is not about feeling better about yourself. Spirituality is, one more time, a method, or maybe I'm not even going to use this word spirituality, I'm going to call yoga. Okay? Yoga as a science is the science of subjective evolution that is undoing our limitation and our identification with limitation. And this is why a very beautiful practice, moment to moment, is concentration. But concentration, yes, some people would use this practice of concentrating on the flame. Those are basic exercises. Yes, so there is still an object observing a subject. Sorry, a subject observing an object until both merge. Correct. So that could be a very basic concentration exercise. But at this point, I would recommend that the concentration be a moment to moment practice of dissolution. And that is already throughout our practices, that is attainable for us because we already have that taste. And along these lines, if you consider what is the purpose of life itself, and obviously in Kali Yuga we've moved very, very, very far from this basic teaching of why are you signed up for this experience in the body in this very dense third dimensional realm. And if you notice, yes, Kali Yuga is this age, a yuga. Yes, it's a time period of such densification, such um, identification with matter, i.e., the body, i.e., the I am this, I am that. That this basic wisdom teaching doesn't even have a place in it. The wisdom teaching that the world itself, your life, is teaching you moment to moment to let go of any type of binding. Because any type of binding, just notice, any type of binding is perpetuating the suffering from which we are constantly running from. Any type of binding. And life circumstances, I find that the only teacher, the only Satguru, the highest teacher is our life. And the only way to truly become masters of life, of our own life, is noticing slowly, slowly through this holding of that attention beyond the mind. And we have a very simple practice of just stepping to the back body. It's almost like moving your attention and focus from the front body, which is more of the egoic energy here in the front body, moving it to the back side, pulling all of which means pulling all of your attention and focus back. And then if you even close your eyes, you kind of shield your senses, the sight, the hearing, start calming your breath. Then all of this outward flowing prana, life force, is drawn back into a deeper place, and then you can go inward and expand. Yes. So as life is teaching us to peel away from the worldly identifications, it doesn't mean that you stop caring about people, things, achievements. It has nothing to do with that, actually, which is again misunderstood. But it is this, as you're going through this peeling away process, you become the master of life. That's the only way to become the master of life. You cannot become the master of your life just through swimming in the realm of your person. the subject in the world, that the subject in the world is not a master. And the teaching is very unbecoming for the ego, because the ego thinks it's boring. And concentration, today we're going to practice this element of concentration. Again, this has very, very strong connotations in our language, so be careful with that. Teachings could be a two-edged sword, correct? But I'll lead you to truly, truly embody this teaching of concentration. And the concentration is always that element. And even Ramana always stresses that pulling your attention and focus back to the source, from where that identificatory locus is a center from which this projection of the limited self arises. Obviously, like even if you just consider it as a mental process, you can address your issues from so many angles, your psychological issues, your mental issues, which are deeply connected. But it makes so much sense to go to the source of all of this, from which all of this identification arises. And we've all been there. Even people who've never practiced anything, they would have these automatic unconscious states of samadhi. Samadhi is that beautiful Satchit Ananda, the state of the self which is in pure being, bliss, and light. We all had that. We all are having that. And one more time, I always stress, and I used to fall into these traps of states that you achieve through meditation. Those states, if they're fleeting, they should not be clung to. Any type of astral realms, astral could be also good, yes, not just hell realms, yes. So any type of astral realms of paradisical beings and teachers or whoever you can connect to, that's still not it. It needs to ideally be the cessation of any and all images, thoughts, feelings, and a dissolution of the subject, and a deep experience of knowing that you are the source. You are source. And today with this practice of concentration, and I think that this is not, it's not practiced enough, because these in the old traditions, that was the first step. How do you practice constant bringing your outward orientedness back into source? And at first, as Ramana says, it's a practice. You need to make that effort until it becomes automatic. And one more point, that the ego personality, as it starts dissolving, it creates a lot of fear. It also starts speeding up the samskaras, which are these energetic imprintings in the holographic field once you start opening and releasing this very rigid grasp of the ego. Yeah, so that ego, then the ego acts up and I love this analogy. You know, when we sweep the house, where we are sweeping the house, what happens? A lot of dust comes up, yes, in the air. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens, and that's why people are having a hard time with meditation and concentration, because what happens is that all of this content that is in the holographic field suddenly comes up, and it gets even more overwhelming than before. And so there's a giving up. Oh, I'm not good at meditating. That doesn't work for me. That's not for me. Yeah. And together we can hold that space of concentration, which is a stepping back, a drawing back. Yeah. And you will see that the ego will always find some methodology to draw you out, to engage your senses, your thoughts, anything, in order to get out of that one pointedness, ekagra. Yeah, ekagra is the one pointedness of no point, by the way. Yeah, so it's not like I'm I'm fixated on one point. It is very abstract for the mind to grasp, because it's this, it's beyond the mind, it's not linear, but that is the source of your being. It's a very simple teaching, very abstract, because it needs to be embodied. Yeah. And I would say that if you have experiences, always refer back to them, because that experience is known. Your true self knows that experience. So it's not like you never had it or you're looking for it. You need to find it. You already are that. So all we are doing is loosening up this rigid field of identification in order to just open up. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. Ekagra, one pointedness, and silencing yourself, automatically stepping to the back body. And then from the back body, just trace that space in your heart, which is a portal of accessing all that is. Peeling yourself back, 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 back. And connect to my higher self. I am presence. Mother, Father, God, or consciousness. These, again, are all aspects of you. You see, as you're starting to peel back, your confusion becomes more obvious. The chaos in the field becomes more obvious, and then we go deeper. And then we have access to this grasping, a seeing into all of these dimensional realms. And then you go even further, where all there is pure crystalline white golden light. And then you go further and further to the point of emanation. And even that is dissolved. And then there's just a collapsing of the inner experience and outer experience. There's no difference. There's just being. So do not run after experiences. That's not the point. If you open your eyes right now and look around your room, that experience or an experience of some magical realm is no different. It's not, there's no any difference. It's not the point. Peeling yourself back. And you can physiologically train yourself, as Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, to fixate, again, attention, yes. Fixate your focus at the tip of the nose. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to start looking at the tip of my nose. You can fully close your eyes first. Fixate your attention to the center of your head. So automatically your eyeballs move a little bit high up to the center of your head. And at the same time, they move a little bit down. And you can even leave your eyes a little bit, very little, open. But you're not actually looking at your nose whatsoever, but you're pulling all of your attention and focus to the middle of your head. It's like pulling your eyeballs up, and as they're pulled up, they sink back down a bit. This is a very subtle movement. And you can keep your eyes a bit open, very slightly. You don't have to. So this move itself already calms down the medulla oblongata. And there's this sense of dropping. The thoughts are calming down. And this is the focus of the physical body. This type of focus. And let's just practice this. As you're drawing all of your attention and focus, just feel as if there's this light bubble, crystalline golden white light bubble in the pranic channel. From it, and it's the pranic channel is in the middle of the physical body. From your crown, you're going to allow this bubble this light bubble to start dropping from the crown. First, feel it, how it's hovering just above your crown in the middle of your head, hovering, hovering, hovering. And it's turning. It's actually having this movement of your torus field, just moving clockwise. It's crystalline, golden white light. And it has all the rays. Start dropping this golden bubble to ball, dropping it from the crown into your third eye. Just feel it in there. It's very powerful. Self-luminous and self-intelligent. It has that spark of I am that. It is your soul intelligence. Drop this bubble furthermore to the back side of your head and feel it moving round and round, back side of your head, where the neck meets the skull. It actually feels really good. And if you're still at this hang up that I don't feel energy or light or anything, just notice. And do not judge. Doesn't matter. So let's just feel this bubble in all the three planes, the crown, the third eye, back side of your head. And at the same time, your attention and focus of your eyes is in the middle of the head. And you lift up your eyeballs, move all the way up, and then they drop back down. You will notice that you will lose this concentration of the eyes from time to time. You see, you're opening up to this multitasking of attention and focus because you can have access to everything at the same time because you are everything at the same time. You're not separate from what is. And the only thing that you're here for is to expand the isness of you until there's no you and isness. There's just isness. It's not even an experience, it's a being. Clearing all of these domains. We're dropping now into the throat. through the pranic channel. You're dropping into the higher heart at the top of your sternum. You just see this pranic channel light up. It's always there. But this time, you're retracing it. And feel how the pranic channel itself is giving you this situatedness in this vessel, in this avatar body. Notice this very clearly, that as we're going to trace center for center, the pranic channel holds you in this dimension, yes, and it is necessary to hold you in this dimension right now. But at the same time, you are able to transgress and be everywhere at the same time. Again, the nature of reality is paradoxical, is this and that, always this and that. We're moving into the heart space. We're moving into the solar plexus. Crystalline golden white ball. As it's spinning in all of these centers, its light is self-generating, self-effulgent, bright, wise. You are reinstating your own multidimensional intelligence. The longer you hold this attention and focus, yes, now we're doing an exercise. But you're not doing this for the sake of doing these motions. And notice, if you're falling asleep, it means that, yes, there's a very strong presence field. And the mind, usually, when it's asked to turn inward, it goes to sleep. The light is then in each center, drawing all the lower vibrations into itself, illuminating them. It's almost like a deep scrubbing kriya. It's a deep scrubbing kriya. Removing the energies of other people, places, experiences, egregores that we've created from our thought patterns. Removing all of it, removing it. Just notice how the freeing had already started. Well, it started a long time ago, since you've started on this path of life. Clearing all of these patterns of identification. Moving into the sacral chakra. We're taking the time, because it takes some time to clear. You're very powerful. Your Kundalini Shakti is that of countless atomic bombs, the purity of light, wisdom. But this time we're using this limitless power for the highest good of all, including yourself. You see, because you're given this limitless power, you have a choice every single moment. You have a choice to give power to your inclinations, samskaras, ingrained experiential impulses of like, I'm not supposed to smoke, but I do it anyway. Or for women, this, well, could be for men as well, but less. This codependent strategy of mindless service to others, with coming from a very wounded place, coming from this ego that is bleeding and wounded. So that's a samskara as well, correct? Interesting, it's coming up now in the sacral area. This is a holographic quantum healing of your energy field. The sacral area is your sense of self, your I, in your relationship to yourself. calling all of your energy back to you from any space-time. And I'm asking right now to harmonize this, each holographic field with their home frequency of your unique soul blueprint. Very unique. And then we go into the root. And as we are rooting, doesn't mean that you're rooting anywhere. But the more grounded you are in this body, the more you have control over the information that is running through your body. Because the information is constantly running through it. The more conscious you become, the more grounded and the way more expanded, become the master of your life from a higher frequency domain. Because notice the difference. You're still retracing your pranic channel. So let this process be finalized. Notice the difference between your personality, the ego self, thinking it's in control and managing your earthly life, as opposed to your attention and focus inward, thus this expansive embodiment of your higher self, your soul, taking over your experiences, moment to moment. So in a way, attention and focus is always that. Giving this free realm, free reign to your being that is liberated slowly. It's being liberated from the shackles of identification that you're somebody and you're doing something, you need something and you need someone, and you need things to be a certain way. It's a tricky little game here because the final arrival is that arrival or you've already arrived there, but seemingly you're tracing yourself back to that point where you are that embodiment of the service to other, the locus of your being, a service to other, a service to other because it is so whole in itself. It's just whole. And it's just here to serve because service equals love. It equals wisdom. It equals light. It equals guidance. Attention again is also where the ego is trained to give the torchlight over, the torchlight over to the higher self, to the soul. It's like every time when we don't see the forest from a tree, you remember, oh, I can give the torchlight over so that the whole forest becomes visible. Always remember through this ascension process, which is fully aided right now at this yuga time period. You're arriving at this most immaculate collapsing, metaphysical collapsing of all dualities. That's the deepest alchemical process where you transcend all limitation, even in the face of limitation. And that's the game you came here to play. You move this ball now into your Earth star. And the Earth star is also igniting the soul star up above your head. Just move there. Soul star and Earth star. Still the pranic channel. And there's a very beautiful, immaculate connection right now from the field of your heart upward from the field of your heart downward, the field of your heart right, the field of your heart left. We connected the XY coordinates, we connected to the vertical and horizontal fields, planes of holographic emanation. And if you know the symbol of Sri Yantra, doesn't matter if you don't, but you can picture the Sri Yantra, the basis of that symbol is that there is a vanishing point. The vanishing point is the right on the heart, on the right, heart on the right. The vanishing point is the heart on the right. Such a liberating feeling, the feeling of peace, cessation of thoughts, feelings, emotion. And if any thought, feeling, emotion does arise, you have full, loving, wise control over anything and everything that arises. And that is that point of attention. Point of attention is where you vanish. It's a vanishing point. And notice you can play with either view. You fall, fall, fall into the vanishing point and there's nothingness. Or from the other side, you fall into this holographic emanation of the so-called world, dimensionality. You can play with either side. It's actually highly healing when you are on the side of the void. The void itself, this realm of pure potentiality, place your eyes the way I described, the center of your head. It's highly healing, this realm of the void. It allows all the sankalpas, overlays, chords, cordings that hook us into certain fields of experience to collapse. So the more you're practicing your attention and focus as this field of the vanishing point, it begs us to adhere to a very deep sense of humility. Because you see, you can be in some form of samadhi, the early stages of samadhi where the personality is still active. And that attention then is needed. The attention of the heart on the right, that which liberates. The strong energetic pull that still feeds personality. And this place is the grace of the self. And the grace of the self has that power to liberate. It dissolves magically very, very, very old patterns of illusion. And this place at the same time allows you to have that power to witness everything exactly as it is. Notice the connection between everything being exactly as it is and the space of attention and focus from the right side of the heart. It's like you know that you are the projector. You're the mechanism, the projector. You're also the screen. And the screen is very, very, very still. It's limitless. It's all allowing. And you see the process usually frees us from this automated impulse to rigidly control the world around us. Because in order to truly be in this attention, that attention is the place of the void. And the void allows everything to be exactly as it is. That is so deeply enlightening. You can only have thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotion, experiences, because you are the self consciousness. So you can play in the field of attention, which is outward oriented. It's where you are just playing in the energetics of Maya. Maya is very powerful. She's the feminine emanation. Very powerful. Or you can go inward and slowly liberate your senses from this automated movement outward. And then the attention becomes that liberated openness. Notice the liberated openness that is always available to you. Always. It's always here. Notice the difference. Playing in the field of your outward orientedness, or playing in the field of this expanded, open, peaceful field of your natural self. And yes, for a while there's this dance back and forth. You've noticed that countless times. But you know, your free will only lies in your attention. Your free will is your attention. Where is the attention? Your free will is your free will to choose your attention. as you're this field of expanded being. Your body is recuperating, your energy is harmonizing, your mind and emotional field are clearing. Your wisdom body is becoming more accessible as you're piercing into this realm of ananda or bliss, this pure oneness with your soul, actually. The soul is this ecstatic, it's not, do not have the analogy of any type of intoxicated state. Ecstasy is just this pure love, flow, light, love. When it's liberated from the shackles, the overlays. And I'm asking now the soul to fully descend, because we prepared all of the planes of existence. Through this immense, bountiful charging. This is a moment of charging. Feel that your pranic channel is being charged by this avalanche of golden crystalline white light. The light codes are adjusting our hologram to live in flow with our highest purpose. Discernment, wisdom, service to other, service also to love, self-love. Having the humility to see our shadows, and to transmute the shadow inside and outside of us without demonizing, judging. You do not have to wait for death, for the final dissolution. Because you see, every single soul here that has a body has to go through that final dissolution that you would call death. That's a form of samadhi. And life itself is a preparation for that dissolution. And the earlier you truly grasp this teaching, then you also live from the liveliness of the self. Otherwise, you are just ping ponging between your likes and dislikes, missing the point, missing the mark of attention. And that is called ignorance. Dissolution is the mastery of the self. So it is. I think this teaching, an embodiment of being as the self. These are called the teachings of the light that you are. Feel now this access, this flow, openness, as you're becoming the site of allowing. And that is the attention and focus, the site of allowing. You always return to the site of allowing. As soon as you step into the field of self-identification, you're overlaying, you're creating a layer of obstruction, obfuscation. so that you do not have access to your natural self. Thank our guides, Mother, Father, God, this teacher, and embodiment. So it is.